quantum sensors can give like a total new scheme for performing MRI spectroscopy or imaging. The reason is that typically MRI or NMR, it's like the sister of MRI, is detected by coils, and for that reason has limitation in the sensitivity. In particular, if you think about small volumes and small samples. For example, an MRI can perform imaging of whole bodies, but if you want to go to single cells, it won't work. And here the quantum sensors come into play. So quantum sensors can sense magnetic fields, which is the signal you would detect in MRI, on a much smaller length scale. And this opens now up, I would say, like a total novel research field where you can perform magnetic resonance imaging and spectroscopy in very small length scale down to single cells or even single molecules in the long term. Well, it's the heart of the experiment. So the quantum sensor is the diamond. Well, it's not totally correct because it's actually a defect in the diamond lattice. So what we use is kind of a diamond chip. So we use, basically technically produced diamonds, not natural diamonds, grown lab-grown diamonds, which are high purity. That's very important. But then in these high purity diamonds, we introduce defects. And this is the so-called nitrogen vacancy center. So basically replace like a carbon atom in the beautiful diamond lattice with nitrogen. And we also have a vacancy nearby. And then we form this nitrogen vacancy center. And this impurity now in the diamond is the quantum sensor because it has specific properties such as, a spin state. That's, of course, goes very deep into the science part. But the spin state is basically the quantum property of this defect, which can be then used to interact with magnetic fields and which can be then read out optically. But the heart is the diamond with these defects in the lattice. Yes, that's also, I would say, like one key goal of my group. So, of course, we do basic research and we see, where this technology can go. And on the long term, of course, the idea is, can we do, apart from basic research, can we also do applied research and use it, for the society? And let's maybe now focus on the NMR part. Here, as I said before, the field is pretty new, but there's a lot of still, things to be, improved, to explored. So there's, I think, still a couple of years ahead until we can really commercialize, until we have really techniques which are ready for the market. But this is definitely the goal on the long term. There are companies on the market which are using these things for applications, for example, medical diagnosis. You can think about detecting magnetic nanoparticles. You can think about failure analysis in semiconductor industry because you can, for example, detect current flow in parts which are broken, for example, or not, or current flow where it's basically not broken, which can be detected with this kind of quantum sensors in diamond. And then, of course, you can also go build larger sensors, like going maybe to millimeter length scale. And these have been used or are using also for navigation, for example, because you can measure magnetic fields very precisely. So that's a nice platform also then for example, for navigation, because you can measure magnetic field and the orientation very precisely. So this is maybe a new way, new and old way at the same time for navigation, where we basically don't rely, for example, on GPS or other techniques. So I would say there's a very broad application space at the moment. And I think over the next years, there's much more to come.